Thank you very much, sir. I have some slides and some statistics. Sorry to put you at the end, those figures, but continuation of the previous speaker, Ambassador Bhatia, I would like to remind you that that ASEAN-India trade current trends are somehow unexpectedly the lower side. And there is growing apprehension that the trade deficit is going to grow. And how do we narrow the trade deficit? There is a plan to review the entire free trade agreement. Let me come with what we have done for last 25 years. If you see the last 25 years, 2017 is the 25th anniversary. So according to me that we have achieved two major progress in each year for last 25 years. And this is really excellent. So if you look at, if you expand your horizon, two major development in last 25 years is not bad, which I found this is really great. And we started with Look East policy in 1992. All the way we came back with an $1 billion US. India is extending the line of credit as a special facility for the connectivity development. So this is really phenomenal achievement that government of India and the ASEAN countries they together achieved. But there are some downsides which business community they are very concerned. If you look at the trade, the figure tells you that we don't bother about the numbers, the absolute numbers. What my concern is the growth rate, pre-FTA, post-FTA. FTA implemented 1st January 2010. If you compare the both, on export side, what I found, that growth actually Indian export is decelerated. And when you come to the import side, even in the export side, if you see the growth with the ASEAN 5 dialogue partners, even negative. And overall, with India's export to the world, our export to the ASEAN countries even lower than what we do with the world in terms of the growth rate, if you compare to pre-FTA and post-FTA period. What is the difference between the import side? If you see the import side, growth rate actually better than the world growth rate. And what is more interesting is that our share from the import side is actually increased before FTA and after FTA, whereas in export side, it has gone down. So this is a matter of concern. And but the interesting development which I found that over the period of 10, 15 years, many new products have been added in the export. So this figure tells you that at the 8-digit level, the customs, those people who look at your trade, at the 8-digit level, if you see this Indian export to the ASEAN and the world, is actually many, many times is grown up. Not that much in the import side. So the bottom line is that about 70% of our total number of products exported to the world is now going to the ASEAN countries. About 58% is coming from the ASEAN countries. So number of products have increased. So new products we are trading. That is one of the fundamental objectives of the FTA. Now come to the present scenario. These are many things are known to you. I'm not going to repeat. Just for an overall, that when the FTA, what we are doing, RCEP, trade facilitation, transit, air connectivity, maritime, and several other things with the overall connectivity. There is a present engagements and the slides with the organizers. Please, if you have interest, please look at it. But I argue the point of what we are going to do in 2030. So I think this is a kind of an honest guess that with free trade agreement by 2030, we will not be just talking about ASEAN-India FTA or TPP or RCEP. It could be a bigger free trade area, the Asia-Pacific region. That could be a partly operational. So why partly? Some figures that we could make out about Indian export within ASEAN-India in Asia-Pacific would be 250 billion. Presently, we have 76. But every forecast has some kind of assumptions. So there are some assumptions here involved. But two things will continue to create trouble for us, even if we go for a bigger market with a common market. One is the dispute settlement and non-tariff measures. What we see, there will be explicit rise of the value chains, production networks. Yesterday, day before yesterday, these things have come out. Trade facilitations would be completely paperless because we all looked into a digital system. Connectivity, trilateral highway extension, railways, maritime link, Mekong-India economic corridor, airlines, open sky, digital, all will be different kind of a progress, and certainly in the very positively. And India's northeast will be highly integrated, rising income, there will be employment more, and FDI. So this is the scenario we can see the 2030 coming. What the new opportunities for the business community, for those who are involved in the trade, investment, there could be more involvement in the production networks, value chains. There could be larger market for services trade, more involvement with the education sector, for example, access to the new technology, innovations, and after all, we'll build a good quality of life and the relations. Last part of my presentation would be the challenges. Quickly, I mean, you don't need to go through everything, is that there are many, many non-tariff measures. These things ASEAN hasn't done yet, neither we are properly. So until we clean it up, because tariff is no more the barrier, custom duty is not the barrier, it is about the several standards, labeling, marking. These are the things which are the really complicated trade barriers. Until we clean it, we won't be able to reach 250 billion, the target we looked at. Cumbersome trade procedures, still CLMB countries, they are having a manual trade systems. We need to get out of it. So ASEAN 6, mainly ASEAN 4, who are coming up with a single window, I mean, very sophisticated, with the help of US aid. They will be launching it this year end or early next year. They should get help to CLMBs to come to the paperless. And third is the mobility of the skilled labors. There are restrictions in the ASEAN more than in India. For example, the visa. It is very difficult to travel to Singapore or Malaysia for the skilled people. So there are also issues like academic and professional qualifications. So we don't agree, we don't acknowledge each other. Those are the things we need to move. The fourth and last challenge, which I think there would be a growing regional income disparity. See, this is the IMF last year World Economic Outlook forecast. The data number is small, but what we see this is by 2020, Singapore in PPP terms, the per capita will be crossing 100,000 current international dollar, and come out to the Cambodia, which will be the only 5,000. So there are three groups: Singapore, Brunei, Australia, Korea, Japan, and New Zealand having a high income, and the bottom one, which will continue to be the CLMB until these gaps are narrowed down. Of course, it will take a long time, but we need to see how this larger, relatively richer economies in the ASEAN, they are investing in the CLMB. Last slide, that how we are going to celebrate the 25th year of ASEAN and India. I have some kind of recommendations from the ASEAN India Center. We think that we are not doing much on the energy sector. So we need more energy projects, and energy means particularly solar energy. You will be surprised that India has a plan of 20 gigawatt 2020 to 200 gigawatt by 2050. India, Myanmar, Bangladesh gas pipeline. We need to hook into the power transmission line of the ASEAN. ASEAN India renewable energy sector in ASEAN India, compared to even South Asia, we have not done much. We need to have a deeper integration in services industries. We have not done yet this one. It could be the logistics, faster delivery. Look at the investment of the Singapore airports in India. Completion of trilateral highway must, along with the motor vehicle agreement, visa-free travel for the business people, skilled people, professionals, collaboration of the higher education with the Northeast India focus. We haven't yet come out with a network called ASEAN India University Network or partners, whereas ASEAN has a network. So UGC is not yet tried to bring the network with ASEAN, whereas China has a network with ASEAN. Roundtable of think tanks, this is going on. We need to more people-to-people contacts, like to strengthen the civilizational links, like the network of the museums, films, artists, craftsmen. Those are very important. And greater transparency in the investment environment. I think Secretary's speech yesterday, we need to come out with a handbook and what is the services agreement and investment mean for us. These three also I have some recommendations. The last one is, I think you should know about it, that next year, this year, December, we need to go out about 820 products listed in the ASEAN-India FTA, the sensitive list item. Can we achieve these 800 items? Can ASEAN 6 and India to remove? We have no information. 2030, last slide, sir. What do we think in the 2030 is going to happen? The bigger and faster aeroplane? I think you will agree with me. There will be bigger vessels. Cities floating on the sea. Faster and sophisticated satellites. Frequent space journey. I think Mr. Ravindran might travel to space in his own aircraft or spacecraft. Undersea explorations. Solar power. Life-saving drugs. Digital society. But we will surely, it's my personal view, is that it will be a very isolated society. We are only looking into the mobile phones. And so if these are the things in 2030 is going to happen, ASEAN, India, how we are looking in, those are the things. Thank you very much, sir.